Hey everyone, welcome back to RPG Imaginings. Today I got a package in the mail from Chaosium Incorporated, and based upon the most recent release that has happened, physical release from Chaosium, you might be able to guess what this is. And so I'm going to go ahead and dive right into the unboxing here, and we'll check out what we have. And I'm really excited to receive this product because even though I am an experienced Call of Cthulhu player, that doesn't mean that I'm not interested in expanding the hobby. And I think that there's a lot to be interested in here from the perspective of veteran players as well. And so whether you're an old veteran of Call of Cthulhu or whether you're a prospective new player, I think that there's a lot to be liked here. And so one thing that I'm going to do here is just try to make sure that there's no packing slip here. Chaosium, of course, always does a spectacular job packing their packages so that there's no risk of damage. And so a lot of paper here on top. And then we have a box within a box. So let me move the larger box out of the way. And here we have the smaller box. All right. Get that tape out of the way, and boom, it pops open. And all right, we have the Call of Cthulhu starter set. Looks great. If you're familiar with Dungeons & Dragons has a starter set, a very famous starter set called the Red Box, and I don't have my copy on me right now, so I can't show that to you. But the idea behind a starter set of a role-playing game is that you sort of get all the basics that you need to begin playing that role-playing game, and so you can sort of try it out without having initially to purchase the main rules of the game. Of course, the Keeper's rule book for Call of Cthulhu would be the main set of rules for that game. But, sometimes people want to get a taste before they dive in. And I'm really excited about this product because Call of Cthulhu as a role-playing game has been pretty on the up and up over the last couple of years. People have really been interested in learning a lot more about it since it was kickstarted several years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And so this starter set really has the potential to bring a lot of new players into the hobby. One of the things that I noticed straight away when Chaosium broke the news about this is and shared pictures was how great the production values looked on this, especially for the cost of the product. I think that this is a really great value for its cost. Retail cost is $24.95 USD. And I'm going to get the camera a little bit closer here so you have an opportunity to see what the text. So this starter set contains everything you need to begin playing Call of Cthulhu, the tabletop role-playing game of mystery and horror. Players take on the role of investigators of mysteries, uncovering dark secrets, encountering strange monsters, and thwarting sinister cults. Together, you and your friends create and develop a story in which each of your characters plays a leading role, which could be foiling some dastardly plot or stopping horrors from beyond space and time. Role-playing games are a social pastime. Everyone works together in a team, each playing an investigative character or an investigator character. One player runs the game, the keeper of arcane lore, who referees the rules and presents the story and adventure plots to the other players. Think of it a bit like acting in a drama, but where there isn't a script. Dice and rules of the game determine the success or failure of your character's actions, all while you are propelled into dramatic and nerve-tingling situations. The emphasis is on having fun. And that little introduction there is old news to anyone who is a regular role player. We know what role-playing games are all about. But this product in particular, just from this little blurb right here, is doing a spectacular job to invite the newcomer along. And that's what I really like about it, that this is going to be useful for both experienced players and new players. And so you get a list of what's inside the box. We're just going to skip this because we're going to see what's inside the box. the list of adventures that it comes with, 4 adventures, one of which is a solo adventure, and then the 3 other ones are 7th edition updates to some classic adventures. And I'm not going to spoil those adventures because I want anybody watching this to be able to have an opportunity to check it out on their own. But in perusing the PDFs when I ordered this a couple days ago, one of the things that I really noticed and got excited about is how much care was done in those adventures to get them ready for a brand new audience to the game. And so here we are. The production values on the box are really strong. This is really thick cardboard. If you've seen the red box edition for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, this is a huge upgrade in quality. And so right off the bat, we have our dice, basic dice set. You can always upgrade these dice, but I think it's great that it comes with it so you can get started right out of the box. And it's nice to see that one of the tens dies is blue in color so you can differentiate a bonus die or a penalty die compared to the rest of the dice. And so if this is what's getting somebody started on a dice collection, gamers know that we love our dice collections. That's an awesome thing to include. And getting a set of dice with this just increases the value of the box at $24.99 because a set of dice nowadays retail can run you $10. And so just getting a set of dice with this I think is a really nice include. So there's a what's in the box, including a read me first. We're going to skip this, but I just wanted to showcase it for you so you sort of see what it is. And then there's this advertisement for Chaosium Incorporated, who are, of course, the producers of Call of Cthulhu. It says, the Chaosium exists deep beneath the bottom of the lowest underworld. It is the fount of chaos and spews forth our collective unconscious, fantasies and monstrosities alike. Yeah, general advertisement for Chaosium. Didn't expect that on the other side, but that's really interesting. We have information about the Cthulhu Chronicles, the official Call of Cthulhu interactive fiction game. You can download it on the Apple App Store. It's also on Google Play now, and I've been playing this periodically for solo adventures. And on the back of this one, just some more information about it. It's free to play. You get so many chances to play if you want, or you can, pay in order to play more during a day, which is a common feature of apps, but there's that advertisement as well. We have some blank character sheets on really nice paper. Okay, so here are the blank ones, and then below the blank ones, we have some established investigators with color portrait photos, which that's really nice. And so if you're just starting out with the game and you want to dive right in, we have some preset investigators. In a minute, I'll show an example of something that I really appreciate them doing with these preset investigators that I had never seen in a Call of Cthulhu product before. And now onto the books. Book 1 is Alone Against the Flames. Alone Against the Flame is a solo adventure. And the production values for this are just the same spectacular production values that you would expect from any of the hardcover Call of Cthulhu books. This just happens to be in a side-stapled format for these books. So book 1 contains this solo adventure, Alone Against the Flames. This is an adventure where you can learn the rules of Call of Cthulhu just playing by yourself. And so maybe your regular game group isn't there, but you want to get set up and started for the next adventure. Well, Alone Against the Flames is going to help you out with that. And, I played Alone Against the Flames a couple years ago for the first time, and I think that it really does a good job of establishing the mood of what Call of Cthulhu is all about in terms of an investigative, more story and character heavy role-playing game rather than a mechanics heavy role-playing game. And that is a compliment, by the way. Book 2 contains an updated copy of the introductory rules. And so if you are a veteran player, know that Chaosium has put a lot of care into updating the quick start rules for this particular product. And so one of the key things that I noticed when I was first flipping through this, in addition to gorgeous and in this case grotesque interior art, which is exactly what one would expect from the monsters of the mythos. Yep, there's a deep one creeping up on you there, lady. You got to watch out. Not only does it go through the basic rules, but one particular include for this particular version of it is that I really like this image showing the different aspects of a character sheet, which is not in the existing 7th edition Quick Start Rules document to my knowledge. And so if you want to pause this at any time and check it out, feel free to do so. But this is, Quick Start Rules updated for this version. And then book 3 contains the other scenarios, and Chaosium just did a spectacular job not only updating these scenarios for 7th edition. I'm going to move this out of the way because it contains the handouts, and like I said, oh, by the way, the handouts is saddle stitched. And I don't want to give anything away, but it is connected together with saddle stitching. If you bought the product directly from chaosium.com like I did, you receive the PDF for free. And so it becomes really easy to, if you don't want to photocopy those, just print them out for use with your players. So here's what Chaosium did with these scenarios. These are all classic scenarios that have been available in Call of Cthulhu core rulebooks for a very long time. And I don't remember which editions they came in or anything like that, but the 3 scenarios are Paper Chase as a very introductory adventure, and Edge of Darkness and Dead Man's Stomp. And the first Call of Cthulhu book that I ever bought was 5.5, I think, was the first edition that I got into the game. And Dead Man's Stomp was included in 5.5 as well. But not only is this updated for 7th edition, but they've also done a really good job of selecting and ordering adventures that you can play based upon the size of the group. And so I'm not going to go much past this page here because, as I said, I don't want to spoil it for you. But the beginning of the scenario book here really does a great job of showing how you can get players into the game who've maybe never played an investigative role-playing game before. Because player relationships are important for any role-playing game. Like, getting your PCs to come up with some backstories can really help to enrich the story. But particularly in Call of Cthulhu, giving quote-unquote normal people, which is what investigators are in Call of Cthulhu, a reason why they would be together with each other is a critical aspect of really fleshing out the game. So the first scenario, Paper Chase, is designed for 1 keeper and 1 or maybe 2 investigators. So sort of getting your feet wet as a keeper, and there's lots of advice within the scenario of running it from the perspective of a novice keeper. Another book that I would recommend from Chaosium along those lines is the Doors to Darkness supplement, which is also adventures designed for a less experienced keeper. But this product does an even better job than that, I would say, of highlighting some of the key things. Like, there will be sections here in which it'll say keeper note. Way more keeper note sections than you would normally expect from a normal Chaosium product. And so I think that that's a really great addition because it really helps novice keepers along. Edge of Darkness, designed for 3 to 4 PCs, and then Dead Man's Stomp, you can open it up to, up to 6 PCs. I would not go that far generally for virtually any scenario, unless the scenario were expressly designed for more characters, but you could run it for 6 characters. I think that for Call of Cthulhu, somewhere in the 3 to 5 investigator range tends to be optimal depending upon what you do. Now, as I was looking through the special thanks for these sections, one thing that I noticed is that Chris Spivey gets a message, shout out for his assistance with Dead Man's Stomp. Chris has been doing a wonderful job of helping gamers to think about social justice issues in gaming and the history of social justice. Dead Man's Stomp is set in Harlem, and Chris is very famous most recently for his Emmy Award-winning Harlem Unbound, which is now getting a 2nd edition published through Chaosium, which I just think is unbelievably awesome, and that's so exciting for Chris. I also wanted to point out that as I was looking through the introductory rules booklet, there's an online resources section that mentions Seth Skorkowski's Call of Cthulhu reviews and his introductions of the various concepts. And Seth, in addition to being an accomplished author, is sort of the name in YouTubers for Call of Cthulhu right now. He does other role-playing games as well, just like I do on this channel, but I've taken a lot of inspiration from Seth, and he's really helped me to become an even better keeper. I've been GMing, dungeon mastering for over 20 years, but you can always learn more is the long and short of it. And so don't worry, I'm not going to turn too far ahead. I just want to point this out to everybody that one of the things that they included to supplement the ready-made investigators here in the scenario book is these membership cards to the Society for the Exploration of the Unexplained. I just think that that's an amazing touch that Chaosium included in this product that does a really great job of giving a connection or helping a keeper and a set of investigators to have a connection with each other to get everything started. And who knows where that goes? Maybe there's politics within the society, and the players are to some extent adversarial. Maybe they're all members of the society, but because of their schedules, they never met with each other. Who knows? And so I think that that's a really excellent additional include here that is a great asset to this product. And so there it is, the Call of Cthulhu starter set. Let's get all the materials back in here. I'm going to cover up the handouts here in the bottom of the box because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. But remember, if you purchase from chaosium.com, you get the PDFs of all of this. And so we have these great color portrait pre-generated investigators. We have a nice set on high quality paper of investigator sheets for 1920s. And then, the standard what's in the box and everything that would tend to come with it, plus the dice. So for $24.99, this is a steal. The production values are excellent. What Chaosium has done to not only update this to 7th edition, but also make it so that it is a product that can be used for new players, but also be appreciated by old players. I just think that it ticks all the boxes. And so I think that, I'm just going to predict it right now and say that this set is going to win some Ennies because in terms of inviting someone to the hobby in general, even if Call of Cthulhu isn't their thing, I just think that this is a really solid starter set for a role-playing game in general, but especially useful for Call of Cthulhu, the role-playing game that many of us have come to know and love. And so thanks for watching. I'm going to have some more videos coming at you pretty soon. I've been thinking about how I want to frame my Curse of Strahd video for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, because Curse of Strahd is a campaign that I've been reading a lot about lately, and has inspired some of my decisions that I've made for my Call of Cthulhu group as well. And so I'll have that up sometime, maybe before the end of the year, we'll see. And so thanks for watching. Game on, everybody.